Hello everybody and welcome to G.Parkers Arcade. Hey, I've made it through the holiday weekend for the most part, and I thought I'd just go ahead and put together this video on Zen Studios through Epic Pinball FX and the cabinet mode they came out with. So I'm going to try to talk you through some things I've learned about this and do the best job I can of showing it to you. So let's just start right here. Now I'm going to explain to you that straight above me here is my backglass screen. That's important for you to know right now. I don't have it set up in cabinet mode yet, but that's going to turn into my backglass screen. I also leave that there because that's the screen I'm going to do some work on later and show you how to do some things. And then over there is the play field. Now again, I'm not playing on a cabinet. I'm testing it out here in my office on multiple screens, and then I'll move it over to my cabinet. So anyway, I'm going to try to help you through this. Now, if you had FX3 pinball, you remember there was some cabinet code you needed, but it came with some nice menus. You had to, to do some adjustments and stuff. They're not here now. The menus aren't. You don't need a cabinet code. And you don't have to send in a picture. Everybody's going to get it, especially through this early access. Now, once the early access is over, I don't believe the rhetoric that's going on in some of the Facebook groups and stuff that say that they're going to charge for it. They did announce that they are going to charge for it. They're charging basically you pay what you think it's worth to you, and the minimum is 1 credit, which they value at 10 cents, I think. I don't know, you'd have to look at their site and read it closely, but some people are saying they're charging. You know, to me, if you can donate if you want to donate $10 of the credits, it's worth it, because they're not making you jump through any hoops to get it, and you don't need a code. At least not now, you don't need a code. I don't know if you'll need a code then, or they'll just unlock it for you. But long story short, cabinet mode is here. I'm sure it's got a lot more refining. That's why they call this early access. So I'm really critical of Zen. There's some things I really hate. I hated having to be on Epic, not on Steam. I hated not having to use these credits, which I heard they're working on doing some resolve to that. But hey, enough about that. I've done enough complaining about that. Let's talk about cabinet mode. And the first thing I'll say you have to do, if you can see my screens, is on the play field, you'll see. Well, okay, let's explain this first. You have no way of rotating your screen within the app, so you have to go to your Windows menu and pick your play field, your display settings, and turn this display to portrait mode. On the FX3 in the cabinet mode settings, you could just flip your screen, but here you have to turn your screen to portrait mode in Windows to make this work. So you can see I have it that way right now. The next thing you have to do is go up here to the settings icon in the upper right. So if you saw that in the upper right of the screen up here, I'll back out and show you. My mouse in the upper right hand corner over there on that screen. Settings. And I find I have to do this every time. I close it out, I have to do it again. But you go to cabinet support and you hit activate. Now maybe they'll get that fixed when this early access is over, but that's annoying that you have to do it every time. And then once you do that, just click down here away from it, which means you got to have a mouse and stuff hooked up to your cabinet. Not going to be automatic. And then, now, I don't know if you noticed, Swords of Fury is showing up there right now. Only because it's the only backglass that I put in, so I named it. Here's another thing you got to know. There's a naming way that you got to name your image files to put them in here and make them work. And on old FX3 pinball, you named your JPEG or your PNG file the same name as the table. That's not the case now. Now I will tell you this. This file that is played when you're in the menu section, and I don't know, I could make something that says FX Pinball, or I could say it'd be showing on your backglass while you're in this menu section. It would say you can have G.Parkers Arcade, you have whatever you want. But anyway, I just had Swords of Fury. I made a image for that, and I'll show you that in a minute when I get to the file structure. But that's why you're seeing that up there now. So that's some stuff we'll get into. So I showed you now. Let's recap. I showed you that you hit the settings and you go to cabinet support and you hit activate. And then you can hit deactivate or reload configuration, but we're not going to do that because we're just starting out. Okay, so now let's show you something. When I go to Swords of Fury, I got to go to, my tables. Go to Swords of Fury. I'll hit New Game. And you'll see it's going to continue to show that same image. And there's your DMD or your scorecard thing there, which I'll get into in a minute. There's a lot more to this. You used to have a menu where you could put your positions in. You don't anymore. So I'm going to help you with that here in a minute. But anyway, there's the game. There's Swords of Fury. There it shows up on the back glass. Let's exit that table. Now here's something you're going to need to do. Swords of Fury, I don't remember now what the number was, but I'll be able to tell you when we go to the menu structure. But let's go to another game. That's the only image that I've gotten. And by the way, I don't know about the new tables like Pinball Noir and Curse of the Mummy. Zen does not provide those. Now, I've found some websites where that you could find the back glasses pre-made for you for FX3 tables and some of the ones. So, you can make your own. You'll have to figure out the dimensions and everything, and we'll get into that in a little bit as far as what dimensions would be. But, you can create your own. You can Google search the web for finding some. And I used to have a link for the FX3 ones. I don't know if it's still active or not, but I'll check it out. If I do have that, I'll put it in the link in the description. But you have to find images for it, and I'll tell you how you name them. I just downloaded this off the web, Swords of Fury. Just Google searched it and downloaded it, and I didn't scale it to the right size where it fills the screen and everything. I'll have to get into Photoshop or Paint or something and do that. But let's take a look at Curse of the Mummy here. So let's see if I load Curse of the Mummy, hit play, that back glass is going to change. And I heard that Zen or somebody's going to put a list of these tables out, but they're not named after the table anymore. Each one of them's got a number, and if you don't know the number, now if they put out a list, that'll be great. But if they don't, just go to that table, open it up after you set it in cabinet mode, and look at your back glass, and you'll see that this table, you're going to have to name that file table_112.png or JPEG, I believe. I know it says PNG, but I heard that you can make it a JPEG or a PNG, but I don't know that yet for sure. Your safe bet's a PNG. And it also gives you the path in which it has to be, which I will show you that here in a minute. So don't worry about that too much. But you do have to know that's table 112. Now I exit this table. And let's, it's slow, it's my computer, it's not him, but, okay. Pinball Noir. Noir. Now see, when it goes back to the main menu, it's showing Swords of Fury right now, because I named that the name that it's supposed to be, and just so you'll know, it used to say this table is pfx.png, but when you get yours, when you're in static mode, it'll show the same thing it's showing here now. Now see, for Pinball Noir, you'd have to write this down. This is table_123.png. So I could go through all these and make a list and know what to name them. So anyway, enough about that. So far we've covered how to turn it on, and how to name your back glass files. I haven't showed you where to put them yet, or there's another thing you got to worry about. There's no menu in here under cabinet support like there used to be to put the positions down for your back glass. So I'm going to explain that to you here real quick. Let's get out of this. And let's exit the game. Exit the game. Get out of here. Okay, now, remember, see that screen that you're seeing now was my backglass with the file structure in it. Now let's go over there and take a look at this. I'm hoping I'm being clear on this, and I hope you can see this. If you're watching on because remember, you have to have your screens set up in your display mode at 100% to make this work. So if I blow my screens up bigger, it won't work. So it's kind of hard to see the font. If you're looking at it on a handheld or portable device, it might be hard to see this. But that's why I blew up the whole screen, took me off here, so you can see now. Here's your file structure where it is on my computer. Mine was on my C drive. I guess it depends on where you install it. But now don't pay any attention to that Pinball Emporium C. That's not a folder. I just call my C drive Pinball Emporium because I have multiple drives that I boot off of, and this just happens to be the one I'm using today. So just call that C. And here is where this resides. It is actually, let's back up and I'll show you. It's under C, Program Files, Epic Games, Pinball FX, Mods, Cabinet. This is the folder you need to do all this stuff with. Okay, first of all, this is the folder that all the pictures go in. Now you can see that table 149_149 was the same picture it showed on my backglass. Now, to just demonstrate to you, this is pfx.png. See, I just copied that picture. I didn't have one ready before I showed you this video, so it's just demonstrating that you name that picture that, and that's what showed up when you're in your main menu on your backglass. So I could take any other picture and put in there as long as it's dimensioned right, and drop it in there, and it'll show up on my backglass. So there you go. This is the folder. Program Files, Epic Games, Pinball FX, Mods, Cabinet. Okay. Now, here's something else you need. There's an INI file in here. What I'd strongly suggest is that this folder does not exist until you launch that cabinet mode the very first time while you're in the FX pinball game on Epic. So this folder and this INI file is created then. Okay, what you need to do is I would make a backup of this INI file. Settings, I'd make a copy and call it settings back.ini. In case you screw this one up, at least you can start back over at ground center. But let's open it up. And you open it up with Notepad. And here it is. And there it is. Your dot matrix window is enabled, equals true. That's already in there. Don't worry about it. Priority 0, I wouldn't mess with any of that stuff. The things you need to know is position X for your dot matrix, position Y, height, and width. Same thing for your backglass. Position X, position Y, width, and height. Okay? How do you know that? Even on Pinball FX3, you had those little windows instead of having to alter this INI file, but you still had to know those positions. I'm going to show you how to do that. I have here in my download folder, which I want to open up, a little file that I downloaded called, doesn't need an installation or anything, it's just an exe file. It's called Screen Cord exe. Let's open it up. Each time it says, do you want to run it? It lets me run it. Now, look at this. I am on my backglass screen, which is where all this is going to take place. Now, let me jump over to all my screens. I'll show you it's on my backglass screen. But this thing works no matter what screen you're on. And let me show you something. You can go under Actions and identify screens. And see, it shows in the upper left-hand corner. This is display 1. This is display 2. So, what you do is you open this up. I don't know why I closed that. Let's go back to my backglass. Put it on the screen that you're going to put this. Make sure this app is open. Drag it over to the screen that you're using. Now, here's what's cool. Don't worry about all this stuff down here. It's this line right here. If you can see this line right here. I'm going to throw it up big. Now, that's filling my whole backglass now by throwing it up big. Look at this line up here. X equals 1072, Y equals 8, width equals 196, height equals 1056. Take that information and plug it into the INI file for your backglass. For your backglass. Now, that is going to be the exact positions for that. Right up here. In this line here. Now, watch, this number is going to change now. Those numbers are going to change. I'm going to grab this up here. Oh, I got to take it out of full screen mode. Let's drag this, let's just drag this over here. Let's drag this over here. Let's shorten it. Let's play with the sizes on this thing. Let's get this thing down to, yeah, okay. Now, if you created an image and that's where you want, and your images are all, for your backglasses are all consistent, and let's say you left an opening in there, or that's the place you want to put your DMD, just move this window around till you get it right where you want it. Look at those numbers changed. X equals 1424, Y equals 680, width is 1921, height is 304. Plug those in for your DMD. Guess what? Let's go back and look at that. Let's go back and look at that file. Settings INI. Let's open it up. Those are not the exact ones I used because I didn't leave my DMD there, but those are the numbers you put in here for your DMD. Is position X, position Y, width and height. Replace those numbers with those numbers. Backglass, replace those numbers. Again, I'd make a backup in case you do like I'm capable of doing with big thumbs and screw something up and put something in the wrong place, or because all these little equal signs and all that stuff, they mean something. But then once you get it done, hit File, hit Save, close it out. When you open up Pinball FX, it should work. Now, let me open up that again because I wanted to show you one other thing. And I'll put a link in the description. Help app web page. I'm just going to show you this in case I mess up. Here's the app web page. And I'll copy and paste this into the description so you can find this. So this is just a cool tool. So with that being said, now if you get this app, and just remember that you need that settings INI file. And once you get that, and you can open that up with Notepad. And remember, everything resides on your computer and whatever drive you're on, but it's named Program Files, Epic Games, Pinball FX Mods Cabinet. That's where it goes. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful to all of you. I'm going to go ahead and launch Pinball FX now again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have some fun with something here. Bear with me. Don't like editing, so let me go into my server here. And let me get this file here. We're going to see if a JPEG works. And what I want to do is I'm going to change the name of this to PFX1. Oh, PFX back, BAC. That way I know just take out the back. And I'm going to change this to PFX. PFX, and it's a JPEG. Let's see. Now see, that one won't count. PFX JPEG, and we'll see if that works. Let's launch Epic here. Let's launch Pinball FX and see what happens. And see if my backglass doesn't come up with my little JPEG image. So remember, we'll recap. You got to activate Pinball. Oh, well, I'm going to have to do that again anyway. Press any button to start. See, I always get this thing. This thing just drives me nuts. I got to close it. It just exit out. It goes away. It's fine. As soon as it gets done loading. Okay, see, I got to go up the top right. Cabinet support. I got to activate it again. Now, see, it says cabinet pfx.png. So apparently, a JPEG does not work. So we learned something right there. So if I convert that file to a PNG file, it would work. But that's how I knew what to name that. So anyway, but there you go. And just to sign out with y'all, I'm going to play Swords of Fury because it is the one table that I do have named right with that picture. And again, I plan on creating some of these, so you know, if I put some together in the future, I'll notify y'all and put links up to where maybe you can download some. I'll do a little work on them. So, but anyway, there you go. There is your DMD. There is your backglass. There's your play field. It's all set, ready to go. I hope this helps. Anybody has any questions? I hope I was clearer than mud on this. Let's see if we can get a ball launched. But it works. And I'm going to take and move this over to my cabinet now that I've got this figured. Well, I'm going to create some more backglass images and play with it a little bit. And then I'm going to move it over to the cabinet. So when I get that over there, I'll do a video from the cabinet and show you how it works. But that executable, that thing to find your screen position, that's just that is a piece of gold right there, and I will put that in the description, a link to that little program, and let you have that to mess with. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm just going to let it go at this. I've been on here quite a while, and have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Take care everybody. Bye now.